foolish marketing techniques that have failed.
Back in the early 2000s, I remember there was several of them where builders were in an odd position where we had houses were slowing down on sales. Appraisals were still really high. There was a builder that I knew, and I'm not going to say the city, that had a brand new Suburban in the driveway of this model home and said, buy this model, get this Suburban for free. I scratched my head and I go, how is that even legal? He goes, well, we're going to sell it to them for $1. And I think they ran like one ad and the Department of Commerce came after him pretty heavy and said, nope.
Maybe that's the advent of the personal property addendum too, because the mortgage companies want all of that separated. They don't want things that you can actually move included in part of the purchase agreement. That needs to be on the side. Kind of interesting, because if they were to foreclose on it, they'd need that Suburban back. It's like they don't want to be able to finance or make that part of the financing, because every deal they have would be a huge thing. It's like a refrigerator that's not built in. If you can move it and you get foreclosed on, you can take that refrigerator with you. Now, a lot of people back in the day were taking cabinetry and trim and carpet and flooring. That's illegal. You can't do it. And I had two people that I know that I don't know the people, but I knew of two instances where the insurance company came back, private mortgage insurance came back to them and went after them for that stuff. Interesting. That house just sold for $1 million. But at that time, and this was in 2010, that house was now worth $240,000. And now it just sold for $1 million.
Well, and you remember, Chris, too, there was a lot of that cash out refi where people are intentionally saying, well, our house is worth $800,000. Nobody wants to buy it, but let's go refinance and pull $300,000 out and we'll go buy a boat, a camper, a car, or whatever, and then let the house go into foreclosure. That's where they changed the laws, and the cash out refis were taxable. So then everybody's like, wait, the government's taxing us on foreclosures. And it's like, they're taxing you on the money you took out of your house and blew on personal items, and they'd come after you for that because of that reason.
Foolish marketing techniques that have worked. So I got Kanye here. He's known for being a crazy genius, doing stuff that everyone thinks he's a fool for, then it turns out to be good.
Well, I think there's one that's pretty evident that's out there right now. It's the whole Lindahl thing. People look at that like, oh my God, that guy's crazy, and he's on every billboard and he's doing the Lindahl dance. I mean, but you can't argue with what the results of that. They've sold a lot of houses now. Whether or not they make money or do whatever, that's beside the thing. A lot of people thought that was so foolish and dumb. And I mean, and to put yourself out there like that, he did, and he gets ripped on. But I'll tell you what, the guy, everyone knows him. Everyone knows him.
You're 1,000,000% correct. And I think the thing is that you're right. It is foolish to us. And we're like, why would they do that? And then people make fun of them. But there's a lot of people that don't. And there's a lot of people that do call. And it's a gimmick. I mean, it's like, being the most popular guy in town, all I can tell you is this. If you call a guy that has 300 billboards, you're not getting a discount. I'm just being honest with you. He's going to pay for all those damn billboards. So, I mean, it's a case of where I think that you have marketing to the extent of being foolish. Real estate agents that used to, I think foolish marketing is the Andy Prasky, picture. Call me Andy Prasky. It's not about me. It's about what are we doing and what the service is versus about the ego of the agent. And that's what's interesting is that he brought back true, full-fledged, the ego of the agent, right? That it's all about him and this and, which is those of us that have been in the business for a long time, look at that and go, he's doing something that we would have done back in the 90s. And then he's making it cool again. Like everybody's like, nobody does billboards. Who the hell does billboards? And all of a sudden he's doing every billboard in town. But again, we're talking about him on our real estate show. So obviously something is foolish, but is it?